Fought for our lives to get from over there to this side of the river over here. Our rate's like 1,000,000. Whew. We are out here paddling with Blue Mountain Outfitters, and we have a pretty strong tailwind and we're with the current, so should be a pretty nice trip. Let's start at the beginning. Tiffany and I were hosted by Visit Hershey Harrisburg on a 6-mile kayak adventure through Blue Mountain Outfitters. The outfitter also sells kayaking equipment and anything else you'd need for a water adventure, including life jackets, dry bags, and more. The outfitter was started in 1983 by paddlers who wanted to support their fellow paddlers on river journeys. The company just changed ownership last year and is now owned by an employee who has worked at the shop for over 20 years. For our trip, we chose the 6-mile Marysville to West Fairview paddle, which started us nearby the shop. Before we got started, we had to watch a safety video that was old school but helpful.
Let the boat flow by you, grabbing the upper end as it passes. Swim the boat. After passing under the bridge, the second set of waves is another 1/4 mile down.
Then we got another overview of the map from Sarah, the owner, to make sure we didn't get lost. Sarah then packed up the kayaks and drove us less than 5 minutes to where we were going to launch from. We both picked sit on top kayaks instead of sit in, though Blue Mountain Outfitter offers both. I personally find sit on top much more comfortable for my back. We are about to launch for our 6-mile journey down the Susquehanna. We're gonna get to see Rockville Bridge and some rocks and a bird island, city of Harrisburg, and we're excited. Launching the kayaks was relatively easy, though I would recommend packing water shoes like Tevas. There's also no shade on the river, so wear a hat and a sun shirt and a lot of sunscreen. You can see the Statue of Liberty right there. Here is the Rockville Bridge, which is the longest stone arch train bridge in the world. The reason we picked the route that we did was because we wanted to go under the Rockville Bridge, but we also didn't want to spend our entire day kayaking. When you first launch from the beach, you then have to cross the entire width of the Susquehanna to make sure you are lined up properly for the first set of rocks. Safe passage is on the left as you're looking downstream. We're about to hit our first rocky section, which is like right before the bridge there. Because this section of the river does have some whitewater, I recommend making sure your glasses and hats are attached to you via a lanyard, as well as your phone in a waterproof case that's also attached. We're about to hit our first set of rocks and ripples. Woo! Thankfully, the section of rocks was not as scary as it looked, and we made it safely to the other side, where we finally got to pass under the Rockville Bridge, which was one of the coolest parts of this paddle. Woo! It is an active train bridge. We went over that part over there, but look at all these rocks. Fought for our lives to get from over there to this side of the river over here. Our rate's like 1,000,000. Whew. Section after the second set of rocks was the hardest because we had to move to the right side of the river headed downstream in order to go around the island so we could get to Wade Island. That part had looked a lot easier on the paper map. Hopefully that was the hardest part of the journey, and then from there it was pretty smooth sailing past McCormick Island and Wade Island. And then we had to cross back to the other side of the river to get to our pickup spot. This was a little bit hard to see, as the landing zone is kind of around the corner in the mouth of this river. So make sure to use the green roof building as your guide. Okay, we're pretty sure that that is McCormick's Island, and so we want to be on this side of it so that we can go by Wade Island, which is a bird sanctuary. And you know how I feel about birds. You can do it, Tiffany! Here we are looking at the lovely Route 81. There's a dead fish in the river just ahead, and one of my core memories of rowing in high school is we had a coach who ran over a dead gopher in the river with his launch, and I will never forget how bad that smelled. I'm worried about getting sunburned.
While the Route 81 bridge was not quite as cool as the Rockville Bridge, it was still neat to go under another bridge. At this point, we were about halfway through our paddle, and I was getting pretty hot and was glad I both slathered myself in sunscreen and packed it for a reapplication later. I definitely didn't drink enough water on this paddle as I was super dehydrated when we got back to our hotel.
So this is Wade Island, which is a bird sanctuary. If you listen, you can hear the birds on the island behind me. Unfortunately, you can also hear the highway.
While we didn't see any bald eagle or osprey, we did see a lot of cormorants when we were crossing by Wade Island. Cormorants actually have the highest flight cost of any bird because their wings are designed for swimming. They can swim up to 30 miles an hour to catch fish under the water, and sometimes they were popping up right next to the kayak, which freaked me out a little bit.
Alright, we are aiming for the condo with the blue roof right there. See downtown Harrisburg and the Capitol building. Woo! We're so close!
Like the safety video will tell you, make sure to land on the concrete and not on the pile of mud, aka goose poop.
We made it! We did 6 miles on the Susquehanna, and now we're gonna go eat some food.